So over the past month, I've been sharing videos with you where I showcase the top neighborhoods in Portland, Oregon that fall into various different price brackets. Well, today we finally hit our finale and we'll be looking at the very best neighborhoods where homes typically sell for over $1 million. And in today's video, we'll be looking at some truly spectacular homes and wonderful neighborhoods. So hello and welcome. I'm David Backholer. I'm a real estate broker and I'm a relocation specialist, and I'm based here in Portland, Oregon. My goal is to help you find your perfect home here. Now, the average price for a home in Portland is around $615,000. So now that we're looking at homes for over $1 million, you'll likely find something that's much larger than average. Typically at this price point, I expect you to be looking at least 3,000 square feet. And you may also find some homes, particularly on the west side of the city, that have some wonderful views, and also some properties where you might find some extra features like stunning landscaping, a wine cellar, or even a swimming pool. But now let's start things off and look at our first area, and we'll take a look at a map to look at the high level and see where these high-end neighborhoods are located.
Okay, so we're on my website. I'm going to start things off at a fairly high level, and then we'll dig into some specific neighborhoods and then some specific houses too. So what I've got selected now is any houses in Portland that have a list price over $1 million. And I've only got single family homes, condos and townhomes, so multi-family homes, and land has been filtered out. So very quickly, you can clearly see some areas where there's a high concentration of homes over $1 million, and then large areas where there's nothing over $1 million. So North Portland, for example, there's absolutely nothing in North Portland over $1 million, and that's kind of what I would expect. Typically, North Portland has smaller homes. Parts of St. John's, for example, 800 square feet, 1,200 square feet, kind of in that range of size of property. Whereas there's a few in Northeast Portland, a few in Southeast Portland. There's nothing east of the 205. So again, we've touched on this area before in previous videos. These homes here are going to be, $500,000 or less. Some you might find a little bit over, but it's typically a much more affordable area east of the 205. But what you will see is a very high concentration of homes in and around the downtown Portland area, and then the Southwest Hills and Northwest Heights. Those kind of areas is where you're going to find larger homes, more newer homes. The east side typically is historical homes, so you may find homes from the last 30 or 40 years on this west side. But let's go around quadrant by quadrant and showcase the types of properties that you'll find in these areas, because even though at first glance you might think, oh, if I want a home for a higher end home, I need to look on the west side, the homes here are going to have a very different feel to what you'll have on the east side of the Willamette River. So let's dig in, first of all, to Northeast Portland. And I've touched on these areas before, but we're now looking at parts of Northeast Portland, but are very, very central. So Irvington, Dolph Park, Grant Park, Alameda, Laurelhurst. Those are the areas in Northeast Portland where you're going to find homes over $1 million. And there's a couple here that I've actually been through. So this home we have on the screen, for example, this is in Irvington. I love Irvington. Irvington is a historical neighborhood. I actually live in Irvington, so I'm a little bit biased. But Irvington is a very central neighborhood, easy to get to downtown. But what you'll have in Irvington is these old homes, these full of character. This one here, for example, built in 1923. You'll typically find homes from like the late Victorian era, so the early 1900s, around the mid 1920s. That's kind of the range of homes you'll find in this area. And you'll find homes starting at around 2,000 square feet to around 3,000, 3,500, a few over 4,000 square feet, and there's some few very special homes, around 6,000 or 7,000 square feet. Those are quite rare though. But this one here, kind of a typical type of property you'll find in here, kind of a Cape Cod style home. This covered porch, quite unusual actually, you don't see this very often, but I've been through this one. It's a really beautiful home inside. 1.25 million. 5 bedrooms, it's 2.5 bathrooms, it's about 3,100 square feet. And I'll flick through some pictures, and I'll also put some B-roll up. I did a little video of this one as I walked through this property. Beautifully done. And you'll see here, for example, just this character that you'll find in these homes, just kind of these glass doors. There's another one in the dining room area, which we'll probably see in a minute. Good little seating area, just beautiful inside. And this is the type of property you'll find on the east side that you won't get on the west side of the river, because here the houses are older, a bit more character, grander, obviously have some history, but maybe you want newer homes, and therefore the west side might be best for you. So yeah, this is the types of doors I'm talking about. You'll find these in these older historical homes, full of charm, and if you appreciate charm, the east side's probably going to be the best fit for you. Irvington, Laurelhurst, Lads Addition, Eastmoreland. These are the grand neighborhoods in Portland. This one's beautiful, beautiful kitchen, a wonderful main level. But yeah, this kind of gives you an idea. $1.25 million for a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home, 3,100 square feet. Let's look at a couple more in the near area. Okay, this one here is also in Irvington. You can see it's just north on Clickertack Street, 22nd, 21st-ish. This one is listed for $1.1 million. It's just 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, 3,162 square feet. But you can see it's kind of another beautiful, grand home. Clickertack Street, so the named streets run from west to east. The numbered streets, so 22nd, 21st, for example, run north to south. So you can kind of get an idea on what type of street this is on. The named streets tend to be on slightly larger lots, kind of corner lots, larger homes. So it just gives you an idea. A great location, beautiful, again, big windows, lots of character, nice kitchen overall. But just kind of this style home. A little different to what you're going to find on the west side. So kind of a cool bathroom, I like that. This one's been updated a little bit, so it's kind of a mix of historic versus new. But yeah, $1.1 million, and a really cool exterior of the building, something very unique, a nice little rooftop area there as well. So, and then all these neighborhoods, especially on the east side, they've got bars, restaurants, cafes in the neighborhood. So this is about a block or two from a couple of cafes right on the corner of 23rd, 24th on Fremont. And these neighborhoods are very walkable as well. They're pretty flat. There is some hills a little bit further east of here, but overall fairly flat. And then the neighborhoods themselves have generally beautiful landscaped front yards. People really take pride in their front yards in and around these neighborhoods. So if that's the sort of vibe you're looking for, then kind of this inner east side, northeast Portland is probably going to be a great fit for you. Okay, so we talked about Irvington. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased. Irvington is wonderful. Alameda, there's homes up here that are kind of on a fairly steep, the grid line goes away a little bit around Alameda because the homes have some fantastic views. There's a slight hill. Alameda is one of the most prestigious neighborhoods. The homes here are a little bit different to Irvington, similar, but maybe a little bit bigger. And you can see this is a Tudor style, again, $1.25 million. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. It's a smaller home, 2,800 square feet. So you would expect to have something a little bit special with this one. I'm gonna guess it's probably got some wonderful views, but let's take a look at the inside. Again, a really beautiful style of home. Nice property overall, and yes, this one will have some great views, and you can see kind of it's got a slightly higher up with a deck. You don't get many homes with views on the east side. There's some around Mount Tabor. There's a little bit here on the ridgeline near Alameda, but they're few and far between. If a home with views is what you're looking for, you're going to have more luck on the west side. Okay, and we'll cover that a little bit later. But here, views are quite rare. This neighborhood is where you will find some, and this is beautiful in this kitchen overall as well. Yeah, very, very nicely done. But yeah, great house. Smaller because it's got those views overall. There's some kind of nice closets overall. And this kind of gives you a nice picture of what you can expect from homes, nearby as well. So kind of this style of homes, really beautiful area. But I like this style of home personally. I'm very fond of this sort of Tudor style, but kind of a grand front entrance overall as well. So another great option. Now I'm going to show you one more in this area, and it's very, very different. Dolph Park is one of those neighborhoods that most people don't know exists. So a little pro tip for you, Dolph Park is kind of a very small neighborhood, and people tend to get it mixed up with Grant Park, but it's a very small neighborhood right here. All the homes in Dolph Park are spectacular. They're all really beautiful. And you can see there's actually one listed here for $3.65 million. This one has been on the market for some time. Earlier, actually last year, so back in 2024, this home was listed for $4 million. And it's beautiful inside, beautifully landscaped, kind of has this gingerbread house style roof. And homes like this are definitely few and far between in this neighborhood. In Irvington, there's been a couple of very high-end homes sold. One that was sold for $4 million about 2 years ago, right next to the Irvington Tennis Club. That was around 6,000 to 7,000 square feet, so very, very rare. There's another one it was on 6 lots on not in Northeast 17th. That sold for around $3 million, I believe. So you don't tend to get many homes sell for more than $2 million at least. They tend to be around 1 to 2 being the kind of the very high end. So something like this is unique, not the norm, but there are a few homes like this in this area. And then being in Dolph Park, right next to Grant Park neighborhood where Grant High School is located, this is one of the top locations in all of Portland for schools. So great school system. So let's give you some essential numbers before we dig into the photos. Currently listed for $3.65 million. It's been on and off the market for some time. It was on last year over around $4 million. It's 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. It's just over 7,000 square feet, and it's on around 0.39 of an acre. But let's take a closer look inside. Just beautiful character. Obviously this one is pretty special. Lots of high-end design, custom features throughout. Quite modern in places as well. Definitely has more of a modern vibe. The house itself was built in 1925, so obviously it's had a lot of updates. And you can see the backyard. You can just make out the backyard as you walk past this house. I've walked past this house pretty frequently. It's very private in the backyard, but you can still see these stunning trees, and it has definitely an oversized yard. Typically, you may get about 9 houses per acre in this neighborhood. Here at 0.4 of an acre, it's about 2.5 homes per acre. So you can see it's about 3 lots, 3 to 4 lots overall. This one. So definitely a larger amount of land, just a truly spectacular, high level of design, very, very custom, going to be a very unique buyer who's looking for this because, $3.6 million is very high. Not many people need to spend that much money. And then once you get to this price point, $3.6 million, there's a few places to look at, and this is one of the top neighborhoods if that's the sort of money you have. But also, a little bit outside of Portland, Lake Oswego is probably going to be where a lot of people would also look, and I can talk about Lake Oswego in other videos as well. But this is a wonderful example of kind of what you can expect from the very best of the best in this type of neighborhood. So this is Dolph Park. Dolph Park, as I said, right between Irvington and Grant Park. One of those fairly exclusive neighborhoods not many people know about. If you look on the map, you actually won't even see Dolph Park listed, but here you can see on the listing, shows Dolph Park. Okay, so that's kind of the main part around here. I wanted to cover Irvington, Dolph Park, Grant Park, Alameda. You've also got a little bit of Beaumont, Wiltshire going on here as well. But that's kind of the area. It's going to be the inner northeast Portland. Now, Laurelhurst, the majority of Laurelhurst is also in northeast Portland. You'll see here, East Burnside. Anything north of that is going to be northeast. Anything south of that will be southeast Portland. So you'll see Laurelhurst itself kind of covers down here to the south part, which is Laurelhurst Park. So the park is in southeast Portland. But there's a few options in and around this area. Another house I've actually been through on Gleason Street. Now, this one has also been on the market for some time, and there's a very clear reason why this one hasn't sold. It's on quite a busy street, and it's across from a school as well, right next to the Laurelhurst roundabout. So this house, if it was a block away, would easily be over $1.3 million. Okay, so they've priced it very well, $1.164 million. It's a fantastic house in great shape, very nicely designed inside, but it would be a higher price point if it was just one block away from its current location. So keep that in mind as you're looking at other homes in and around this area, that this is a low price point for what you're actually getting for this house. So 4 bedrooms, 4 full bathrooms, plus a half bathroom as well, 3,700 square feet. And property taxes, I haven't mentioned this much yet, $15,000 a year. So here in Portland, as a percentage, our property taxes are quite high compared to most other cities, especially east of here. Compared to the West Coast, Washington, and California, the property prices in Portland are much cheaper than the San Francisco Bay Area, Seattle, anywhere else kind of in that larger metropolitan areas in California. So the prices are significantly cheaper, which means the taxes are cheaper, but as a percentage the taxes may be a little bit higher than some other areas. But overall, all the listings will have the accurate tax price, and that only really goes up by around 3% every year, unless there's been some significant remodels since the previous tax year. Okay, so let's take a look at this house. As I mentioned, great finishes, really beautiful inside. Has a really nice feel, very light and bright. Again, this house built in 1913 definitely has some of that older classic charm that you'll find on this east side. So many windows. It's just windows on almost every wall, and this area, when it's surrounded by greenery, it's really beautiful actually. Really nice attractive house. Obviously very spacious. You've got a living area here, almost a second living area right here, dining area, and then behind us we have a very nicely updated kitchen overlooking the backyard. Kitchen's great, nice big island, lots of storage areas, pantry areas, great stove, wonderful appliances. So this house, as I said, it's really beautiful. I walked through this with some clients, it wasn't quite right for them, but overall, huge walk-in closets, and you don't often see large walk-in closets for homes on the east side, unless they've kind of made some remodels, converting a bedroom into combining 2 bedrooms together to create a huge primary suite. So kind of that is a little bit unusual, not the norm. So you may struggle to find large closets if you're looking here, but some more recently remodeled homes will have that feature. So yeah, really big space. And then down in the basement, it also had a second living area as well. So you could even rent out this basement area. So it's a great home. They're struggling to sell just because of the street it's on, 1 block away. $200,000 or more than what they're asking for. So someone's going to get a great house. Again, Grant High School, one of the top high schools, Laurelhurst schools, the top schools overall. So this area, Laurelhurst, Grant High School, these are the top schools in the east side, in and around the east side, northeast, southeast Portland. This is going to be the kind of the best area. Okay, so now I think we've covered northeast Portland quite extensively. Really, there's only a few neighborhoods with homes with over $1 million, but the homes that you find, beautiful homes, great neighborhoods, historical neighborhoods, really nice places to live. Let's now touch on southeast Portland. There's only a few options here, and there's a couple more just south of us, and I'll cover those in a minute. So you're looking at around Mount Tabor. You will find homes on the streets that surround Mount Tabor, and you're going to get different experiences depending on exactly where you'll be. The east side of Mount Tabor, you'll have views that look obviously east, and that they'll look over towards Mount Hood, and there'll be spectacular homes. And then you've also got some homes here, not quite so steep, not quite so hilly, but you'll be near like Hawthorne, where there's a plethora really of bars, restaurants, cafes, unique kind of boutique stores, And again, this area is going to have older homes. Mount Tabor maybe not quite as old as what we just touched on in parts of Northeast Portland, so maybe, you know, from the 30s, 40s, 50s. But overall, you know, most parts of Southeast Portland homes will be from the 1920s. So again, you have a very similar vibe in Southeast Portland compared to Northeast Portland. A little bit more densely populated perhaps, whereas Northeast Portland's perhaps got a little bit less population. But overall, again, you'll find some good options. Let's take a look at a couple of options here. Most homes in this area are not going to cost, you know, just under $3 million. So this is quite a unique property for this area. But let's take a look at it. Basically $3 million, $5,000 less than $3 million. 8 bedrooms, wow. 4 bathrooms and a half bathroom as well. 8,800 square feet, and it's over half an acre. So this is, you know, it's obviously on the National Register of Historical Places. It's got some real unique charm, built in 1911. And this is a part of Mount Tabor that's very exclusive. You know, it's got a separate garage kind of area. You know, beautiful charm. Wow. And, you know, again, even though this home is very unique and you won't find many homes, this will share some characteristics of homes that are closer to that $1 million, between $1 and $1.5 million, in terms of the ceilings and the woodwork and the floors. But this one has some real special characteristics. So even though this might be a little bit on the high end of what we're looking for, the characteristics of this home will be similar to other homes at a more affordable price point, still over $1 million, in and around Southeast Portland. Okay, so yeah, beautiful home, 8,000 square feet, and it's got, you know, big windows, open plan, nice appliances overall. Fireplace in the bedroom, just kind of a charming little deck off one of the rooms. And then the bathroom, it's a little dated, but you know, it's not terrible. But this is quite common to what you'll find. These kind of style showers in and around the bath, you know, in and around this area. Try to keep. They've updated it, but try to keep the characteristics of what an older bathroom will look like. So if this is your style, this is going to be the area for you to look. Anywhere really in Northeast, Southeast Portland, you'll find that. Okay. Overall, pretty cool house. Lots of stairs though, and of course a wonderful cinema, movie room, big basement. A lot of homes in and around this area will have finished basements. Sometimes the headroom is a little bit less. I'm 6'4", so I would struggle down there. But other times you may find headroom in some of these basements actually pretty good. I can comfortably stand up in all parts of it. So really it's a home by home basis, and you have to kind of walk through them to see if it's going to work for you. But yeah, wonderful property, 8,800 square feet. Not the norm, but kind of gives you an idea on the most expensive homes in and around Portland area. Okay, so there's one other option on Salmon Street here, right nearby the one we just took a look at. And this one is $2.24 million, built in 1908, and again, just beautiful, really front, the home is just that immediate curb appeal. 5 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and then 2 half bathrooms, 6,500 square feet. Now, I should say, from what I typically see, homes that are built around 1905 to 1915-ish are going to be a little bit larger and grander than what you'll see from homes built in the mid-1920s. And that's the same for Irvington, Grant Park, Laurelhurst, and then here around by Tabor as well. It just seems to be that those homes that are a little bit earlier were built just on a larger scale, and then those homes built in the mid-1920s tend to start around 1,700, 2,000 square feet, and they can still go over 3,000 square feet, but those older homes tend to be just that little bit larger and grander. And this one's obviously unusual, excuse me, over 6,000 square feet, but again, it's spectacular. Okay, let's take a look inside. But the curb appeal on this one is really, really special. And again, even though this price point might be pushing it for many of you, the style of the home will be consistent with homes that are $1 million less. So, obviously this is a larger kitchen and nicely updated, but some other features we'll see in this house will be shared with other homes from the same era, and that's really what I want to show you in this video. Really beautiful woodwork actually on the banisters and the railings, and also kind of the screens on the windows as well. A little dated in that room, but got some nice features throughout, characteristics. But yeah, it's kind of a really cool house. Bit of a tranquil backyard. Again, this house is larger than normal, right? So this is you're not going to find many homes with these types of features in the backyard. You may find this more on the west side or even places like Lake Oswego, but this is a little unusual. But certainly, this home, honestly, the price for the size home, basically $2.25 million, just under. For the size home, 5 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms and then 2 half bathrooms, 6,500 square feet. It's quite special, and it's got a few nice views, the tranquil backyard as well overall. And then this is a great picture. So this is Mount Tabor. You can see it's quite steep. Great hiking trails through here, and it's a good walk if you want to kind of get some good exercise. It's quite steep. And then these are the reservoirs. So there's 3 reservoirs, 2 here you can see, and a smaller one around the side. And when you're standing kind of right here, you'll have some wonderful views pointing towards downtown. Actually, I've got some videos of that. I'll stick up a bit of B-roll on that so you can kind of see what I'm talking around. But it's beautiful area right near Tabor Park, which is kind of a lively area to go for walk the dogs. It's pretty big. Got plenty of amenities in there as well. Okay, so we got one more area in Southeast Portland I want to cover, and that's going to be down here in Eastmoreland. Okay, so we touched on Eastmoreland. It's got some of the most beautiful homes in the entire city. So these aren't going to be your cookie cutter homes. These are going to be, again, your older homes, maybe around the 1930s. So a little bit newer than some of the other ones we've touched on, but still older, beautiful homes. And you'll see there's actually quite a few options in and around Eastmoreland. And when we touch on Eastmoreland, there's a few staples in the neighborhood to talk about. First of all, the Crystal Springs Rhododendron Garden. Beautiful area, beautiful parks to walk through. There's some water features in there, just a truly spectacular area. That's going to be on the northwest section of Eastmoreland, right next to Reed's College. And then the other green section you'll see here on this map, this is the Eastmoreland Golf Course. So many of the homes, around Southeast 27th you'll see here, will have views on that golf course. In fact, there's one right here. Let's take a look to see if this does have some nice views. So this one does say first time in the market in 50 years. That might mean that it needs some updating, but we'll cover that in a moment. But $1.1 million, 4 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and a half bathroom as well. 3,000 square feet, and it's about just under a fifth of an acre. Let's take a look to see what sort of views we have from this house. Yeah, nice characteristics. Again, this house built in 1936, very typical of this area. And as I say, the 30s, mid-30s is where you'll find a lot of houses in Eastmoreland. You'll find some outside that era, but a lot from the mid-30s. So slightly different style. And again, it has been some time since this house was on the market. So when I see that, I typically see, it will need some updates, but a great option. You can see the types of houses nearby. And then this is the golf course, right across the street. Okay, so you can see, really nice area, nice kind of greenery, beautiful area, beautiful golf course. I've not played this one, but I've walked along here many times, and just a great location. Eastmoreland, one of the top picks in all of Portland in terms of beautiful, stunning homes. So to recap this house, $1.1 million, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, just over 3,000 square feet, has some great views of the golf course, but it does need a little bit of work on the interior. Now there's a few other wonderful houses here in Eastmoreland. Let's take a look and see what we've got. This one here, 1.359 million. Again, look at the style of home, quite unique. 1.35 million, kind of a Tudor style behind these trees. Can't see it too well, so maybe we'll take a look at that one. And here, a similar style actually to that last one, $1.4 million, 5 beds, 3 bathrooms, 4,300 square feet. Let's take a look at this house. yeah, so $1.4 million. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Let's take a look at some of these pictures. Kind of a Tudor style overall, kind of got a garage. It looks a little bit newer. Again, 1931, they're calling this an English Tudor. And again, this is the types of features you'll find from homes from the 1930s. So hopefully now you're starting to see a slightly different feel in these homes that are built in the 1910s, the 1920s, and now the 1930s. Just a slightly different vibe overall from some of those kind of characteristics. But yeah, kind of a real cool house overall. And then a finished basement's really nice. Again, nicely renovated downstairs. Looks like there's a separate ADU, so some good rental potential, or have multi-generational living, which is what a lot of people are looking for now. So yeah, there's some good options with this house. Could bring in some extra money if you do decide to rent that one out. And let's take a look at this other house. This is 1.359 million, 4-bed, 3 bathrooms, 3,300 square feet. So it's smaller than the last one. Maybe it's a little bit more updated than the one we just looked at, but kind of a different vibe. Actually, this one was built in 2014, so they've tried to keep it to look a little bit older, but much newer. And you don't tend to find many newer homes in and around this area. And I would say this layout, it doesn't feel quite the same as an older home. Definitely has more of a home built from this area that you will typically find on the west side. But again, wonderful large kitchen, fantastic huge island, great for entertaining. Kind of fairly open plan as well, so pretty cool this one. So if you like something a little bit newer, definitely has a slightly newer vibe. This kind of high entryway is definitely something you're more likely to find on the west side as we start to look at homes anywhere from the 1990s ish to the mid 2010s, kind of in that area. So the 90s through to 2010 ish. A high hallway, entryway, lots of light. That was kind of the vibe that you see from some of the architecture back then. And again, larger closets. So this one's a very different type of property in this area. You don't tend to see homes of this age in these older neighborhoods. A few, but not many.
Okay, so before we continue, I did want to remind you that if you are considering moving to the Portland metro area, be sure to reach out to me. You can even give me a call, send me a text, alternatively scan the QR code you see on the screen. That will take you to a scheduling form where you can set up a one-on-one Zoom call with me, and I can answer any questions that you might have about relocating here. Now, I've personally relocated domestically and internationally on multiple occasions, and as a real estate broker, I'll be able to guide you through the process and then share with you my experiences to help you find the right neighborhood. But for now, let's continue and check out our next location.
Okay, so far we've talked about Northeast Portland, Southeast Portland. I've shown you that there's nothing in North Portland. Let's touch on our next quadrant, and yes, we do call them quadrants, even though that there's actually 6 of them, and that's going to be South Portland. And this is really a very small area. South Portland is actually the smallest quadrant. There's a few areas around here, but South Waterfront is perhaps the largest and the area where you're most likely to find homes over $1 million. Now, South Waterfront is has a wide variety of properties and prices, starting at $250,000 in this area, so the smallest ones. It's mostly high rises. In fact, it's pretty much all high rise buildings, and they'll be along the Willamette River, so they'll have some nice views as well, especially if you're on a higher floor. And if you're looking east, you'll have some fantastic views of Mount Hood. And you see there's 4 properties in this area, so let's take a look at some of these. And this one here is the most expensive property in the area. Again, these are all going to be condos. And this one is just a smidge under that $2 million, a smidge being a technical British term. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, 1 half bathroom as well. And it's a smidge under 2,700 square feet. So there's definitely some technical terms you guys are being taught. Built in 2006 as well. So it's let's see, a penthouse property, expecting this one to be pretty special. Let's take a closer look. So I believe it's this one, but let's take a closer look here. Oh, beautiful. So you can see Mount Hood, and then I think that's Mount St. Helens there. So I think that's the two mountains that you can see from this room. And honestly, you know, floor to ceiling windows, truly, truly beautiful. And there's obviously several different areas in Portland where you can find condos from downtown area and then the Pearl District. In downtown Portland, they have the Ritz-Carlton residences, and that's where you'll find the most expensive, and they call them the only 5-star building in the city. Personally, if I was going to buy a condo, I would buy in South Waterfront just because the area is a little bit nicer. Downtown Portland, you know, it's gone through some issues over the years. It's getting better, still has a little while to go, but South Waterfront, check it out for yourselves, take a look. I feel like this is going to be a wonderful option, and you get a little bit more for your money here as well. The penthouse in the Ritz-Carlton residences was listed for over 6,000 square feet. That was 3 bedrooms, around 3,000 square feet. So this is quite comparable in terms of size and style. The Ritz-Carlton residences is going to have a slightly higher quality amenities and feel and prestige, but this one is less than half the price. So let's take a kind of a closer look for us. Nice big kitchen, nice, you know, real big, beautiful kitchen, plenty of storage as well, and you know, kind of a nice walk-in pantry as well. Nice features overall. They've definitely a beautiful primary suite. I love these arches. You know, you see them a lot in the older homes, but I just like the small details. And again, more views of the mountains from several different rooms. Oh, so if you are someone who likes to display, I think this is perfume and shoes, this owner definitely has their prized possessions on show. But this is a fantastic walk-in closet, right? This is something that many of you will buy the property because of that alone. And then again, a wonderful primary bathroom with showers and double vanities, and yeah. So overall, a great option. A wrap-around deck, great views. You got the river here again, Mount Hood right here as well. So the river basically separates the west and east. So as we're looking, this way is east as we're looking on the screen. So you've got views kind of the north and then of the east from here. But yeah, a cool area. And they're still building, still doing quite a lot of building in South Waterfront. So this is a nice picture. It shows you the types of properties here, mostly high rises. You'll find some smaller condo buildings, 7 or 8 stories. The larger ones around 30 stories. But this is a popular area. Lots of great amenities. And if you can just see, I'm not sure how well you can see this, guys, but you see these 2 lines here and then this building up here. This is OHSU. This is a sky tram that will take you up the hill. So you'll find lots of people who are in the medical field will work down here or live down here. They've got a campus on the corner, and then they take the sky tram up to the other campus as well. So kind of if you're in the medical field, this is probably the best place in the city for you, at least one of the top areas I recommend you at least consider and check out. Okay, let's move on to a different location. Okay, so one other building, and this is the Merriweather building, also in South Waterfront. I won't spend too much time on South Portland and South Waterfront because you get the idea. If you're looking for condos, this is probably be a great location for you. And this up here is downtown area as well, so you can see there's some more there, but slightly older condos. This one's 1.4 million, 2 bed, 2 full bathrooms, and a half bathroom as well. 2,382 square feet, so definitely on the smaller side, but 1.4 million is not too unreasonable. Again, if you're on a lower floor, smaller, you can get properties in this area for $300,000-$400,000, maybe a little bit less as well. This is definitely a wide range in property prices for this location. But yeah, Merriweather building, one of the great buildings. I think I've been through this building. There's several buildings along here. But yeah, corner lot, great views. You're going to have views of the mountains as well. Again, it's all nice and light and bright. You get plenty of sunlight and natural light in here. Yeah, it's a nice overall property. Good sized closets as well. Nice views of the bridge. you can see just how close you are, to the water. And then again, you've got a nice sized balcony. So yeah, it's a good area, a popular area. If you're looking for a condo, check this area out. Reach out to me and I'll certainly be able to set you up and show you around these areas as well. Okay, let's move on to the next neighborhood. Okay, so let's just take a moment to reset a little bit. We've covered everything east of the Willamette River, and then we've just touched on this area down here, South Waterfront. Everything else you see on our screen is basically going to be northwest Portland and then southwest Portland. And you can see there's really a plethora of different places in this area. You'll typically find homes here are going to be a little bit larger, a little bit more land. The homes could be a little bit newer, not in all cases, but generally a little bit newer, especially as you get further out than kind of the inner northeast Portland, for example. So if you're looking for something a little bit more modern, and by modern I mean anything from the 1990s through to the last 10 years, then these are the areas that's going to be for you. But let's touch on this area around northwest Portland first of all. Kings Heights is quite a unique area, and you'll see there's lots of properties here. You can see all these numbers, and there's 5 here, 2 there. There's plenty of houses in and around Kings Heights. You can probably just see the roads here changes. Whereas down here where it says Nob Hill, you see very clear grid system. Once you get up here to the edge of the park, very wiggly roads, very steep. Forest Park is very steep once you get up there, so quite a lot of incline. Some of these houses will have some fantastic views as well, but let's touch on a few of these options, and then they're going to be quite grand and beautiful. But let's see what we can find. So this one here, obviously a great start. Initially it looks like it's priced really well, so I need to take a closer look at this one, but $1.35 million. And you can see it's 4 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms and a half bathroom, 5,600 square feet, and it's on 1/4 of an acre. Now, initially that price feels quite low, so maybe it needs some updates, or maybe it's on a busy street, but initially it seems wonderfully priced for the character overall. But lots of charm. It looks great. It looks like a great house actually. I wonder why this one is priced so low. I'll have to dig into this one a little bit more. But yeah, nice character overall. A very big house. And this one again, built in the 1920s. You'll find so many houses in Portland built in that era. And look at this, a wonderful, spectacular view. Love it. Okay, big bedrooms as well. Little dated bathroom, but nothing too bad. The design is someone's special choice. It's a very easy fix. But great bedrooms. And an attic that's kind of storage, or could be finished to be additional space, great office for example. But overall, this house, well, spectacular, great views, wonderful landscaping, just a charming little area to sit at. So something very, very special. I'm tempted to spend some time looking at why this one is so cheap, because this seems like a great deal. You can just see the area here as well. Steeper, very green, a little bit larger lots. This one here is on 1/4 of an acre, so about double the size of what you'll find in homes in the inner northeast Portland, for example. But yeah, very cool house, this one, to start things off on this northwest side. Okay, another option. This one's a bit more expensive, $2.5 million. Also in that Kings Heights neighborhood, so quite a beautiful, desirable neighborhood, an older neighborhood, very close to downtown Portland and the Alphabet District and all the great places to eat in Pearl District, for example. This one's 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 4,300 square feet, again just under 1/4 of an acre, and there's some mention of an ADU as well. So let's take a look for this one. A little bit more modern in style. This one's built in the 1960s, 1963, but again, look at the beautiful views. So if you're looking for views, the west side, you will have a lot more options. We saw a couple of options on the east side. The west side, though, if you want views, and this is unbeatable, right? You'll have some fantastic, incredible options. Nice kitchen, nice modern kitchen, feels nice, and vibe is good. Really big deck as well, really huge deck. So just a place you'll spend quite a lot of time, lots of furniture you can put out there. And again, it's Mount Hood. Cool backyard area. Some cool wallpaper throughout this house, seems to be a common theme. Love it. And let's see, going downstairs now, a second living area. and kind of like a little mini kitchenette down there as well. And of course, wine cellar. You'll see from some of these homes, you'll find wine cellars. And again, look how big this deck is. The one up there was huge. We got a second one down here. Just a plethora of areas. And then this is a separate unit. I have to take a look to see where this one is. But again, a separate unit. So this could be, you know, multi-generational living. If your in-laws come to stay, it's this building down here. It has their own private deck. So you could rent this out as a vacation rental or short-term, you know, rental of some type, or you could keep it for yourselves and have it as an office that's super private. But great options, you know, fantastic views, and just gives you an idea on the proximity to, you know, downtown. So, you know, 10 minutes away from getting some great bite to eat, and very, very close to Forest Park. If you like hiking, Forest Park's one of the largest city parks in the city, in the country. So, yep, wonderful, great option. Just under $2.5 million. 5-bed, 4-bath, 4,300 square feet. Okay, I want to touch on one more option in Kings Heights because it's a really charming little neighborhood, and you're starting to see some contrast of homes in the same neighborhood. So there's some variety here. This one, I got a kind of an English Tudorish style, 1916 this one's built, so very different to the 1960s, the one we just looked at. 1.85 million, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, 4,300 square feet, and it's on 0.12 of an acre. Let's take a look at this one to see what we have. Yeah, nicely updated, like it. I like this sort of style, and I quite like this kitchen as well. A little bit unusual, a little bit different, but I like that. Look how big this sink is. Wow, I actually really like that backsplash. Kind of definitely my vibe. Some high level of design here. You'll get some really cool wallpaper in some of these older homes. Definitely seems to be the vibe. And some ceiling as well. I've got some wallpaper there as well. So I like this house. This is kind of, you know, kind of a cool, different type of ceiling here as well. Wow, love it. Just the uniqueness of some of these properties. I really like the vibe. And it looks like this might be a separate ADU down here, or at least a separate kitchen down here on a different level. So kind of a cool feature. It reminds me of quite a lot of the homes I get back in the UK where I grew up. So kind of a similar vibe overall. But a small backyard, not huge, but again, you've got some nice views. It's kind of low maintenance, certainly. I think this is where you'll find that room with a great high ceiling, and kind of like got a garage down here as well. So something quite different, quite unique. And this is a fantastic photo because it shows you what this area is like with a steepness, and you can see the street winds up and it's going to wind back and forth. And again, the beautiful trees that we have here in Oregon. I love it. This is a fantastic photo. Love it. Okay, and then yeah, the school's right down the bottom of the street. So I think that's a great option. 1.85 million, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, 4,300 square feet. Okay, so Kings Heights, located right here. We've touched on that. Wonderful location. Nob Hill, literally at the bottom of the street. So this is where you're going to find all the bars, restaurants, cafes. Very active nightlife on Northwest 23rd. So in terms of nightlife, I mean, you know, restaurants, plenty of places to get in. I don't mean like clubbing until 4 in the morning. At least I don't certainly do that anymore. But Northwest 23rd, 21st, sorry, these are the two streets where you'll find lots of places to get some food. There's some good shops down here as well, but certainly a very active area. And the Pearl District as well, good places to get some food. But 23rd is where you'll find probably more restaurants than anywhere else in the city. So a great location overall. Okay, so sticking with Northwest Portland, but we'll work our way a little bit further west. You get to another area which is kind of, again, surrounds Forest Park. And this is going to be Northwest Heights. There's a big HOA here called Forest Heights. So you'll sometimes hear me certainly call these two areas the same thing, Northwest Heights, Forest Heights. And this you'll see so many homes kind of in this low to mid $1 million properties. So we're not talking about the $2, $3, $4 million homes here. We're talking about that low to mid $1.5 million properties here. And there's a few reasons why these homes all sell for in and around this price point. They tend to be a little bit larger. So starting at around 3,000 square feet, under 3,000 square feet in this neighborhood is considered small. Unless it's a townhouse, you will find some townhouses here. But starting in and around 3,000 square feet. You will also find homes here will have some great views. Again, you can kind of see from the vibe of it that they're quite steep roads. And then a few other reasons this area is very popular, great schools, okay? And then if you work for some of the tech companies, I'm going to say Nike, not necessarily a tech company, but they are the largest employer in the Portland metro area. I believe they have around 11,000 employees. They're located in Beaverton, which is very, very close, probably about a 10 to 15 minute drive. If you work in downtown Portland, this is a great option. I recommend this area to many people as well. And homes, you can find homes for under $1 million here, by the way. 8 to 900,000 is going to be the starting price point, but again, in this 1.24, 1.44 is going to be quite a common price point for this area. So let's take a look at a few of these options. So this one is priced at 1.248 million, so just under $1.25 million. 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. It's large, 5,800 square feet, and this is what I'm talking about. On the west side, you're going to find larger homes with views. The walkability goes away, right? Because it's quite steep. You have to really drive most places. The east side, older neighborhoods, more the neighborhoods are kind of more built in, the tree-lined streets, beautiful areas, and a real mix of homes. So a very large contrast between the west side and the east side. Tends to be on the west side, 1997 this one's built, newer, from the 90s onwards through to around 2010, 2015-ish, the mid 2010s-ish approximately on this area. So let's take a look at this one. It's definitely on the larger side. So it's kind of a nice open plan. Yeah, not a bad size though. Feels nicely done, and again, great views from this area. So I think you're starting to see the big contrast between the different locations. This Northwest Heights, Forest Heights area, a top pick, one of my top recommendations for you if you are, a budget over $1 million, have a larger household, plenty of living areas, everyone's going to get their own bedroom. Look how big this room is, for example. So you definitely find larger homes in and around this area, even a hot tub on deck. Now, one thing you might not get here that you will get in the other areas is a yard. And the reason for that is because, in fact, this is a good example. It's so steep that your yard might be kind of unusable. It might just be trees that they've kind of separated a green belt. So you'll find lots of decks, large decks, great seating area, hot tubs and barbecues are on the decks, but you won't necessarily get a flat lot for, people to run around and sit in on to do your gardening. So it's kind of pros and cons. In fact, this is a great example. This is effectively your yard. You'll see it's very steep, not really usable other than kind of the separation from other homes in the area. All right, so just something to keep in mind. The flat lots are few and far between in this area. Okay, so there's so many different options in this area. Again, most homes here built in the mid 1990s-ish and onwards. And Forest Heights, Northwest Heights, has got a wonderful little community right here where you see Mill Pond Park. There's like a fountain here, and then there's a little shopping area right here just off Meadow Road. Wonderful area. You got a cafe there, and I put some B-roll up, some time that I spent in that location. But this is a very, very popular area, and again, a top pick. Let's take a look at a couple more options, a couple more neighborhoods. So lastly, let's finish things off and talk about Southwest Portland. And you can see, again, there's a lot of options here, starting with kind of the downtown area, Southwest Heights, Healy Heights. These are some of the areas you're going to find some of the most luxurious homes in the area. And again, like some of those areas in Northwest Portland, it's very steep here. All right, Portland Heights, Healy Heights, they're going to have some great views. So let's just take a couple of options at random. So you can see this one, 1.95 million. Actually, this one's Council Crest. It's on the border of Healy Heights. And it's 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, 5,000 square feet, and again, 1/4 of an acre. And you can see, so this one's built in 2005, so a little bit newer than some of the other ones that we've seen. Let's see the vibe of it overall. Just big rooms. Looks like this one's got some virtual staging in. And then again, more spectacular views. So this is really what you're going to find on these higher price points in kind of some of these areas in and around the northwest and southwest Portland. Okay. Yeah, kind of a cool house. It's got some nice vibe, but yeah, I won't spend too much time looking at this one, but it's kind of a nice option. Let's take a look at a couple more options. Something very different for you guys now, kind of a real landmark contemporary home. Same price point, or similar price point, just under $2 million here. 4 bed, 2.5 bathrooms, just under 4,000 square feet. I didn't say smidge. And 1/4 of an acre. Very, very different style home. Very unique style home. Certainly not for everybody, but I think some of you will really appreciate this style property overall. You know, this is kind of one of those rare properties that you'll find in kind of on everybody's Instagram page, right? It's kind of, but it's kind of got the, again, unique styling inside. Very, very different to most homes. You will see a few of these in the area, and I love just this in general. The peaceful backyard with the trees, private, just kind of a real tranquil area overall. A sauna in this backyard, on the lower level as well. So, and a little gym down there as well. But yeah, kind of something very unique, very different. Not for everybody, but some of you will certainly appreciate something a little bit, a little bit different. Okay, so let's finish the video off with one more home, and this is something a little bit extreme, all right? Over the last few weeks, I've been showing you homes from under $500,000, building our way up over $1 million, and now we're going to finish off with one of the highest priced homes in all of Portland and across all of Oregon. And that's this one here for $25 million. Now, most of you won't have that budget. I certainly don't, but I feel like it's interesting to see it because you know that around this home, there's also going to be other homes, perhaps a little bit more affordable, $1 million, almost $3 million. But overall, Southwest Portland is going to have large homes, great views. You may find homes with pools. But this one here, let's take a look at what this one really has to offer. So, $25 million. What do you get for $25 million? Well, 8 bedrooms, you've got 11 full bathrooms, you've got 4 half bathrooms, it's over 25,000 square feet, and it's on 3.25 acres of property. And the property taxes are very reasonable, $117,000 a year. Okay, so this one's not for everybody. It's gone through, it says here, a $20 million renovation, but truly a spectacular property that, for the right person, this could be a wonderful estate overall. Portland's West Hills is a really beautiful area, but let's take a look and see what you kind of get for your money. First of all, nicely up on a hill, so you know the views are going to be grand as well. Kind of a large estate. Wow. Just kind of the older charm. I'm not sure, how anybody needs, was it 2,500 square feet? So it could be a large family, somebody who likes to entertain. You could even maybe look at turning it into a hotel or something, but something very, very unique. Obviously, beautiful views from up here as well. Lots of grand seating areas, views from every room, high level of design throughout. And they've done a really nice job. Feels spacious. This looks like it's the primary suite. Got the bedroom down here, the fireplace obviously in the bedroom. Just spectacular overall. And how about that for a primary bathroom? Huge vanities. The bathroom is immense, and you've even got some doors onto the balcony off the bathroom, and here's the bath as well. So a truly one-of-a-kind property. This is a closet larger than most people's homes. This is incredible. Plenty of storage area, for all of your items. nice little seating areas as well. What a wonderful primary suite. And then looking at some of the other rooms in the house, of course, indoor swimming pool. I love to swim, so nice to have this feature here as well. Looks like this is the changing room for the swimming pool. A movie room, why not? Basketball, sports hall, and then looks like this is the wine tasting room, fridge, and then some storage here for wine overall. Wonderful views, spectacular family estate. But yeah, something truly spectacular to finish it off. So really, just to recap here, if your budget's over $1 million, then there's plenty of options for you. Of course, there's options across the entire city, but the inner northeast Portland, Laurelhurst and Eastmoreland on the east, southeast Portland, you have South Waterfront, those beautiful condos and penthouses with great views. And then in Northwest Portland, you've got, the Kings Heights, Forest Heights, Northwest Heights, and then plenty of places in Southwest Portland overall.
Okay, so that's our tour of Portland and the main neighborhoods for you to consider where you'll find the most expensive homes in the city. Now, there are nearly 100 neighborhoods in Portland, but hopefully this has at least given you some ideas on what might be a strong fit for you. But if you are still unsure, do reach out to me. We can jump on a Zoom call and discuss what it is you're looking for and find that's a really good fit for you. But for now, thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.